The movie opens in a theater during a performance of Othello in the 17th century. At that time, it was forbidden for women to act in plays, so male actors usually played female characters. The most famous one is Ned Kynaston, a handsome young man with delicate features and dark, soulful eyes. His soft looks grant him the opportunity to play female characters better than anyone else. Hidden in the shadows, a pretty girl watches in awe as Ned plays Desdemona, a Venetian noblewoman known for her beauty. The girl's name is Maria. She is beautiful, with blonde hair and bright eyes, but her beauty can't be displayed on the stage. It's her dream to be an actress after growing up in the world of artists and drama. Since it's forbidden for her, she works as a dresser. Maria is so obsessed with the play that she remembers all the lines. As Ned acts the passing away of Desdemona, the viewers give him a standing ovation. People absolutely love him, much to the jealousy of the other actors. After the play, Ned is praised by the director and some of his co-workers. Only one person isn't as happy, the actor who plays Emilia. He quits because he's jealous of Ned's attention and can't bear it outshining him. No one cares when he storms out, still too drunk on another huge success. Ned learns that the king will come to the theater the following weekend, after watching the play once. It was so good that the king wants to watch it again. Maria shares the excitement in silence as she helps Ned take his costume off. Ned doesn't spare her another glance as he wipes the makeup off his face and discusses the king's visit. Maria finds out that two gentlewomen want to meet Ned, and he allows it for 5 minutes. As she leaves to fetch the ladies, Ned expresses his wishes of having a share of the company's money. After all, he's the star of the show, and without him, its success wouldn't be possible. He doesn't get the share he wants, but the owner compromises with him by offering him the chance to choose whoever he wants to act with. Ned agrees. As he puts on more makeup, Ned complains to Maria that he's tired of always doing the same thing. She thinks he's a great actor, but he feels as if he's only repeating his performances. Maria goes fetch the girls, but before she can leave, Ned grabs her hand and softly kisses it, leaving her confused. She grabs the two women and takes them to Ned's room. The women are completely obsessed with Ned, but not him as a person, only as an actor. He's wearing his complete costume, something he knows pleases his fans. They invite him to a party, and he agrees to go. Maria goes after them to ask Ned for an advance in her payment. He gives it to her without hesitation. After Ned leaves with the women, Maria quickly grabs his wig and some of his accessories before fleeing the theater. Unbeknownst to anyone, she's paying to act in an underground theater, and for that, she needs his accessories. Maria is eager to do her first play, even if she won't receive a lot of money for it. In the meantime, Ned is having fun with his fangirls. They are rather interested in finding out whether the rumors about him are real or not, much to Ned's pleasure. When they confirm he is, indeed, a man, they drop him off and pay for his service. Ned's confused with the money. After all, he doesn't sell his body for a living. Maria's play and depiction of Desdemona is a huge success. The theater's owner, who watched the play, praises her performance and wonders if she would like to go to the palace with him. Maria is thrilled, but she has to quickly leave before Ned arrives and notices his accessories missing. She arrives just a few seconds before him, breathing hard after running. Ned doesn't notice anything wrong. He complains about the woman and wonders if she can help him practice for a scene. Maria begrudgingly agrees, her heart still pounding hard after the rush of the evening. During the practice, they get very close to each other. Ned approaches Maria with the intent of kissing her, but she pushes him away. Maria likes Ned, but she knows that he leads a libertine life. Not that she judges him for that. Similar to herself, Ned also didn't have many opportunities in life, so he had to make do. His appeal lies mostly in his ability to portray women, and he uses it for his benefit. He doesn't believe he would be as accepted as a man as he would a woman. Maria disagrees with him. She knows that though he walks with confidence, he's insecure about his image. His mentor, the person who taught him everything he knows, showed him that he could use his delicate appearance to his favor. He learned that he loses his appeal if he's just another man. Thus he exists with a dual nature. After talking to her, he goes practice in the theater by himself. Maria decides to watch him practice and mimics his movements. She thinks that if she copies him, she will be as great and famous as he is. Later on, Ned is surprised by his lover, Duke George Villiers. He brings some bad news for Ned. A woman is playing Desdemona, and she's becoming a sensation. The name of the woman is Margaret, a fake name for Maria. Ned starts laughing in disbelief. He genuinely doesn't think that a woman can be an actress, mainly because it's forbidden. When he finds out that she's acting in Othello, he gets angry. Ned has never had to compete against a woman. His entire career is based on him playing female characters, so he's a bit intimidated by this new actress. According to George, she's quite good, and was even invited to the palace. Ned wonders if George was invited too, and he was. He quickly asks him to take him there, so he can see who this actress is. George agrees, as long as he plays the part of a friend, not a lover. After that, George asks Ned to wear a blonde wig, since his preference is for him to be blonde. Ned agrees, and the two get intimate. Maria's still in the theater, and she grabs the orange dress Ned was using that day. Before she goes home, she goes to see Ned again, and finds him kissing the Duke passionately. It breaks her heart, because she loves Ned. Watching him with George is like watching the drama unfolding in a play. In this scene, though, it is her heart that is being stomped on. The next day, George and Ned arrive at the palace as friends. The king is happy to see George, and Ned introduces himself as the actor who plays Desdemona. The king has a mistress named Nell, who is a big fan of Ned, and an aspiring actress as well. The king takes Ned for a brief walk and informs him that he and Nell would like to see more surprises in Othello. Something different that has never been done before. Before they can continue talking, Maria walks in with the theater owner, Samuel. She looks gorgeous with the orange dress and her hair down. She's in awe to be greeted by the king, but when he mentions introducing her to Ned, she almost faints. She had no idea he would be there too. Ned is also shocked to see Maria, his dresser, wearing his dress and looking so beautiful. Instead of outing her to everyone, he pretends to not know her at all. They go to dinner, and Maria is escorted away from Ned. Much to his frustration and jealousy, George also leaves him to sit by himself, while he sits next to a noblewoman. When the king asks George if he watched Othello many times, Ned smugly replies that it's not Othello he likes, but Desdemona. George glares at Ned for acting like a child, and the king casts a suspicious look at them. The king praises Ned and his depiction of Desdemona, saying that the character belongs to him, but Maria disagrees. She believes a character doesn't belong to an actor, quite the contrary. The king wonders if Ned agrees, and he says that he does. After all, only the previous night, George watched a woman playing Desdemona. He shows the play's flyer to the king, and there is Maria's name. Maria gets nervous, but doesn't deny it was her playing Desdemona, even though it's forbidden. The prime minister is shocked that a woman was performing in a play, much to Ned's glee. He sees Maria not as a friend anymore, but as a rival. What he never expected is for Maria to stand her ground. She firmly believes women have the same chances to portray female characters as men. An argument ensues between the prime minister and Nell, because she's curious to see Maria performing. Much to everyone's surprise, it's the king who decides the matter. He mentions that his mother used to act at parties, and she was judged for it. She was French, and in France, women have been allowed to act for years. He's interested to see how women would do on stage, and officially grants permission for women to perform. Ned is absolutely shocked. It's even worse that the king wants to personally see Maria performing. After dinner, people wonder if Ned will see Maria's performance, and he sarcastically replies that he loves watching his rivals passing away. Maria is surprised by the venom in his words, but there's nothing she can do. She won't be behind his shadow for the rest of her life. She has her own ambitions, and now that she knows he doesn't even really care about her, it's easier for her to follow her dreams. Ned leaves with George, and Maria stays behind with another nobleman who is interested in her, Sir Charles. He mentions that now women can act, Maria should audition for a respectful theater. He suggests the one in which Ned is the main character, clueless about the fact that she works there. Maria isn't sure it's a good idea because of Ned, but the man insists. What she doesn't know is that Sir Charles has a personal issue with Ned after a rather bad encounter the two of them had, and he wishes Ned was gone. Maria has a lot to process after dinner. Never in a million years did she imagine the king would revoke the previous law that forbade women from acting. It's like all her dreams are coming true. The only issue is Ned. The following day, there is a huge line in the theater to see Othello. As Ned walks into the theater without his usual costume and wig, no one recognizes him. He overhears Sir Charles talking to the theater's owner about Maria playing Emilia, since the other actor quit. Ned scoffs in disbelief. He doesn't believe Maria is capable of acting, having never seen her doing so before. Maria is waiting for him in his room, and she tries to apologize to him for blindsiding him. She tries to explain that she only wants to act, just like he does, but Ned is obnoxious and sarcastic. He's angry that it's so easy for Maria to get praised, when it took him years for him to be able to wear a wig. He acts as if it's her fault that she was born as a woman, and naturally has the appeal her gender brings. He had to study and work hard to be able to act as a woman. Maria quickly gets angry at him too. He thinks that only he struggled in life, and as a result, he's the one to deserve the glory. She has her own issues to deal with, and she also worked hard to get where she is. She didn't have a personal teacher, as he did. She only has raw talent, that she perfected by watching him. Tired of hearing Ned's petty comments, Maria pays what she owed him with interest, packs her belongings, and leaves. Maria approaches Sir Charles as he talks to the theater's owner about her. Everyone is surprised to see she's an incredible actress that surprised even the king. The theater owner is eager to see her audition for Emilia, but before she can do anything, Ned shows up too. Maria is so mad at him that she decides to do her audition as Desdemona. Ned and the others sit in the audience. Unbeknownst to them, the king's mistress Nell is there too, watching from the shadows. She's excited to see another woman who is into arts. At first, Maria is very nervous and ends up forgetting her lines. Ned is shaking with happiness that she's doing terribly in her audition. The third time goes better, but not as the audience was expecting. Ned is amused, and though he would never admit it, relieved. He humiliates Maria with his criticism. It hurts her deeply, but she's tired of him. She dedicated a lot of her time to coveting him and his art. She won't do it anymore. The theater's owner offers her the role of Emilia when he learns her next play is sold out, but Ned refuses to accept. He has the right to refuse who he acts with, and he does. The owner is shocked that he would say no to such an opportunity, and he isn't the only one. Nell is mad on Maria's behalf, especially because Ned has made a name playing female characters. Yet he treats Maria as if she's a sick dog. Sick of Ned yelling that he will never accept actresses on stage with him, Nell makes her appearance. She calls Ned names and takes Maria away from them, leaving everyone shocked. The theater owner doesn't know who Nell is, but Sir Charles makes sure to tell him, along with the threat. If Nell informs the king of what happened that day, they would be in a bad place. After leaving the theater with Maria, Nell goes straight to her lover. She asks him a favor to banish all actors from playing women in theater. The king at first doesn't want to accept. After all, it's quite common for actors to play women. Nell manages to convince him between the sheets, and a new law is enacted. All because Ned was petty and insecure about Maria. Now he will be out of a job. Before the king's new decree arrives in Ned's ears, he plays the role of Desdemona again, not knowing it will be the last time. Sir Charles pays the two women who touched Ned to go after him again, and take him to a secret location. There, Sir Charles and his minions jump him and beat him up. Ned is left bleeding on the floor. 6 weeks later, Maria is taking a portrait before her play. She has to paint partly nude, to prove that she's a woman. Maria doesn't want to be treated as a courtesan, but there's no other option. Before she can become famous, she needs to gather an audience, and there's no better way to do that than by showing her attributes. Ned shows up in the middle of the painting. He wants to talk to Maria, and she agrees, though she's annoyed. Their conversation doesn't go so well. Ned is still bitter and blames Maria for everything that went wrong in his life. He believes she stole not only his clothes and character, but his life. Maria snaps at him that he doesn't know anything about her, or what she feels. He doesn't see anything beyond what he deems worthy of his eyes. For years, Maria has been at his side, helping him and caring for him in silence. She loved him for who he was, and she didn't want to fight with him. Ned, on the other hand, disregarded Maria's feelings and ambitions. Like many men before him, Maria was just a simple servant. She didn't have feelings or ideas of her own. His mistake was to underestimate her and her talent. Ned is speechless after Maria's confession. At the theater, there are lines of women waiting to audition for his part. Ned soon learns that he's not as irreplaceable as he thought. He thought he was unique and special, but in the end, he is just another actor without a job. He tries talking to the theater owner about giving him another opportunity, but after his stunt with Maria, that is impossible. Before he leaves, Ned asks him if Maria is a good actress. The theater owner replies she's a star. The first to bravely try to change the way things were. Ned leaves the theater with his head hanging low. He goes after his lover, George, but he doesn't want anything to do with him either. Ned has lost his appeal, and George needs to focus on finding a wife. When Ned insists, George loses his patience and explains that he only enjoyed spending time with Ned as an actor. He loved the concept of sleeping with the characters Ned played, not Ned. He couldn't care less about an actor who ruined his reputation with the king. Ned has nothing to offer George anymore. Once again, Ned learns that he's only special as long as people deem it so. Now that he's lost everything, he's back to the way he was before he started acting. He's nobody. Weeks go by again, and in his desperation, Ned decides to go after the king. He enters the palace with the help of a friend, and finds the king wearing female clothes. He's preparing for a presentation he'll do with Nell. The king doesn't even recognize Ned at first, and he quickly dismisses him when he learns who he is. Ned's so desperate that he yells at the king that acting is important to him. The king's guests enter right at this moment, including Maria. The king forces Ned to say what he wants, and he replies he wants to continue acting in female roles. The king refuses, and Nell adds that the only reason he wants to play a woman is because he can stand out. Maria comes to his defense and says that she believes Ned can play any character. Maybe if he shows the king, he will allow him to play female roles. The king agrees to the suggestion. It's Ned's chance to show he's more than a one-dimensional actor. Much like what happened to Maria, Ned fumbles. He often forgets he's not playing a female character, and does feminine gestures. Maria is worried about him. People start laughing when he makes mistakes. It's embarrassing and humiliating for him as a renowned actor. Maria feels so bad that she wants to cry. Despite their disagreements and inevitable fallout, she still loves Ned. She always admired his talent. Ned starts crying, feeling pathetic. He storms out after his humiliation. Maria goes after him, but she can't catch up to him. Months go by, and Maria starts acting in many plays. The issue is that after the novelty, the theater doesn't fill up as before. Maria starts doubting her talent. She decides to go after Ned to ask for his help. If he trained her, she might become a great actress. In the meantime, Ned is acting and singing at a men's club. Part of the show is for him to prove that he's not a woman, and show his intimate parts. It's there that Maria finds him, and she can't bear to see him humiliating himself like that. Maria pays his boss and takes him away from there. She brings him to an inn and takes care of him. Ned is confused as to why she's helping him, not after the way he treated her. Instead of answering him, she asks why he can't play male characters. Ned explains that there's beauty in playing women, but men are brutish and rude. When he was wearing his dresses, wig, and makeup, people respected him. He had fame and respect. As soon as he took off the dress, he became invisible and uninteresting. Maria decides to sleep with him, a first for the both of them. Maria is curious about Ned's relationships with other men, and asks what they do. They start to do different positions, so Ned can explain to her how it works. Things start heating between them, and they kiss. Ned treats her gently, leaving her on fire. Before things move forward, though, Ned asks how she plays Desdemona. Maria gets angry because she believes he's once again playing a character. It's not what she wants. She gets up and emotionally informs him that though he can act and gesture like a woman, he will never understand what it feels like to suffer like a woman. She says that she hated him when he played Desdemona because he never acted like a woman would. He played it as a male's version of a woman. A delicate, soft-spoken woman who would pass away quietly by her lover's hand. A woman would never allow something like that to happen. She would fight to live. Maria runs away from the inn, leaving Ned baffled. In all his years playing a woman, he never heard a woman's opinion about it. Maria receives an offer to act in Ned's previous theater. The king will come to see her, but she refuses. She doesn't think she's any good, and she can't be humiliated. Nell, who has become great friends with Maria, shows up and comforts her as she cries. She has an idea of asking Ned for his help. The issue with Maria is that she acts like Ned, but it doesn't work for her. After insisting a lot, Ned agrees. Maria shows up already in character, but her clothes don't do her any favors. The first thing Ned changes is her outfit and makeup. He teaches Maria to act the character as if she is the character. She has to give life to Desdemona and show her own brand, so it is memorable. She doesn't need to use gestures and a high-pitched voice like Ned did. Maria is confused by his demands at first, but she soon understands what he wants. The rehearsal ends up being great, and Maria finally finds her call. The only issue now is that the theater owner, who plays Othello, won't do as Ned did. He will also act as if he's acting with a man dressed as a woman. So Ned offers himself to the role, and Maria agrees. Ned is nervous to act as a male character for the first time in his career. Still, after what Maria told him countless times, it's time for him to do what he does best. Being an actor is not about holding on to characters with clawed fingers. It's about time he learns. Everyone in the audience is excited to see the play, after Ned's dismissal as Desdemona. The way Maria and Ned do it is surprising, and the chemistry between them is astounding. Maria acts so well that people give her a standing ovation, praising her for her talent. The king especially loved it because it surprised him. As people comment about their acting, even Ned's, the two of them celebrate. Ned feels free of the boundaries he thought he had. He can now act as both woman and man. Maria is exhilarated, so much so that she grabs Ned by the hair and kisses him. The two of them passionately kiss, and when they separate, Maria asks who Ned is. He still doesn't know, but that's okay. Not knowing is better than being absolutely sure, with no room to grow.